What's up, Green Team? How's everybody doing today? I'm hoping that everybody is doing well. Today is done for me, and I am headed home. So glad. For some strange reason, however, I think it might have been what I had last night, I am kind of dragging today. I tried to get a little bump in my energy with another few swigs of coffee, and it gave me a headache. So I was like, well, that wasn't a good idea. So I'm headed on now, and I think I'm probably gonna just pull my clothes off and lay in the bed for a little while before I have to get up and fix dinner. So what did your day have in store for you, I wonder? Leave me a comment below. Let me know how things went for you today. If all was well, I surely hope so. What did you watch on television last night? Give me a little insight into what your night was like. Even what did you have for dinner? Did you cook anything different? Did you go somewhere and eat at a restaurant that you hadn't been to before? Let me know what happened with you. I'd love to know. One thing that I do realize is that I don't really keep up with a lot. As far as like when school is in, when school is out, and all that sort of thing. The only thing I know for sure is like when school is out for the summer, when it's out for like the holidays, primarily like the major holidays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, etc., etc. Because I don't have school-age kids anymore. Even with my grandkids, I don't keep up with their schedules enough to know when they're actually out of school. So what do you have planned for your kids for the summer? Like, what are they going to get into? Are they going to take swim lessons? Are they going to the grandparents? Are they out of town at one of your other relatives? Are they going to summer camp? What are your kids into? When my kids were out of school, I believe like when they were elementary and middle school age, they were still on a schedule. I kind of let the schedule go a little bit. Well, really altogether, to be perfectly honest, when they hit high school. But in elementary school and middle school, my kids, even in the summertime, were on a schedule. So they had they had so much reading that they had to do. I always made sure that before school let out, I went and got them activity books for the next grade level. So like, whatever grade they were in, the activity books that I purchased for them was for the next grade that they were going into, so that they can get a jump on what type of homework they were going to have, and so that they can start to understand, how to do the work itself. And so they had their meals were scheduled. So they had lunchtime, snack time, etc. They had reading time, TV time, their activity books, and then they had playtime. They had what I call free time. So in their free time, and the funny thing is, my son, even in his free time, sometimes he was so into like the activity books, that's what he wanted to do. And I didn't have a problem with them doing activity books if that's what they wanted to do, because there were more than one activity book for each grade level. So if they used up one book, then I would just go get another book for the same grade level. Or if we ran out of the group, because there was a time where we ran out of activity books for the grade level that my son was doing, and we decided to go ahead and get him the next grade up. So he was doing work for not only the grade that he was transitioning into, but the grade after that. And so, but like I said, they had free time, so they could, in their free time, they could do whatever they wanted to. They could take a nap, they could watch television, they can go outside, he could play his video game. My daughter, she was a socialite, so, a lot of times for her, it was visiting with her friends and things like that. And I tried to keep them, and I guess I was pretty successful, keep them on their schedule so that when school, came back in, they, it wasn't a shock for them after being off of their schedule for, 2.5, 3 months. So they never really lost the routine that they had when they were in school. The only difference was they wasn't leaving the house to go to school. So I said all that to say, is that what you do with your children? Of course, my kids are grown now, so it's been a number of years since we had to deal with that. But what do you do to keep your kids occupied, keep their minds stimulated, keep them in the mindset of learning so that they are able to compete with other students? And I do say it is a competition, because once your kids hit a certain grade, they're competing with other students for scholarships and spots in the advanced classes and things like that. Because some of these advanced classes, they don't have room they don't have spots for all the students who may qualify. So they take the top, the upper echelon of out of the group that they're representing. So, I tried to make sure that my kids were always, able to compete with other students for the things that they wanted. So what did you do? What are you doing for your kids to kind of keep their minds stimulated? Also, what are you doing if you have a child that's out of school, but you won't be actually caring for that child during the day because you have to go to work? Are you dependent on daycare? Are you and your spouse or significant other alternating your work shift so that you can be available? What exactly are you doing to accommodate child daycare for your child while they are out of school? Do you have any recommendations for some of our other viewers, individuals who are part of the Green team? Do you have recommendations or suggestions for things that they can do with their children, or activities for their children, to kind of keep their kids stimulated? I'm sure everybody would benefit from, different ideas and stuff on how to keep your kids engaged. So if you have any suggestions or recommendations for activities and, things for your kids to get into, go ahead and leave them in a comment below, and to help out another parent. That would be really great. If I have anything, I'll make sure I leave it in the description box, or pin it, pin my comment on the video. So anyway, I asked about swimming lessons because I've mentioned before in my videos that I cannot swim. I doggy paddle, but I've always had something going on with the reason I don't can't swim or whatever, and that's a long story within itself. But that seems to be the thing, especially in Texas, when you wake up and it's already 80 some degrees. The kids want to be in the water. And I know back in the day when I was growing up, we had the community pools that we used to go to, and you didn't have to worry about pool tags, and there wasn't a fee. They actually, and I don't even know if that pool is still over there or not, but I grew up in Hiram Clark here in Houston, and over off of, anybody who knows Houston and familiar with Madison High School, that's over in the Hiram Clark part of Houston, and there was a community pool over there off of Buffalo Speedway. And you didn't have to live in that area to go over there. You just go over there and go in and start swimming. And I was, me and my siblings, we were never allowed. My dad wouldn't. He wouldn't. Well, part of the reason he wouldn't allow us is because he wasn't really home all that much, because as a single parent raising 3 kids, he was working 2 jobs. So we never got to go and do stuff like that. And so that's one of the reasons that I never really learned how to swim. My brothers tried to learn how to swim, but he used to always get frustrated because he couldn't, his desire was to swim on top of the water, and he had the hardest time because no matter how hard he tried, he just sank. So he, like, even though he was able to swim, but for some reason his biological makeup only allowed him to swim like just beneath the surface of the water. He never could learn how to swim on top of the water. My sister, I'm not really sure why she never learned how to swim, or even if she knows how to swim. To be perfectly honest, I don't know if she had to know how to swim or not. Ain't that weird? I don't know if my sister knows how to swim, but I never asked her. We never talked about it. But so you know, that's pretty much how that went. But yeah, that if that pool is still there, I'd be really surprised, because that's been some years and years and years ago. But it was a community pool. So I know now, like the different subdivisions that you live in, they have, you know, their own pool and park and stuff like that. But you have to have a pool tag. And then if you live in an apartment complex, you know, like the one that we're in, you have to have a pool tag. So they gave you they call them pool tags, but they're bracelets. And they're like these little rubber bracelets, and there's one color for the residents, and then we have, you know, 2 additional ones for our guests. So that's how they know, you know, who lives there and who doesn't. And so that's pretty much how things are now. I don't know if they have community pools or not. I know that when my grandson was born, I want to say he might have been like a year old, I found this place that used to be in Missouri City. It's not there anymore. They turned it into something, but it was an indoor swimming school called Aqua Tots. And if anybody is familiar with Aqua Tots, I never got a chance to put him in there because, well, you know, as most of you know, my grandson has sickle cell, and there, you know, we talked about putting him in there. And it wasn't because of his sickle cell, but just because timing and things like that. But the other thing was, at the time that we talked about putting him in there, we were waiting for the weather to get warmer, because for some reason we had this freak cold front that came through at the time that we were talking about putting him in the swim classes, and he couldn't go from the pool water out into that cold weather because it would cause him to have a crisis. So, you know, for one reason or another, we never wound up putting him in Aqua Tots. But I've always been intrigued by that place because it's an actual place for toddlers and, you know, younger kids to learn how to swim. And if I'm not mistaken, they had classes not just to teach them how to swim, but also to get them comfortable with the pool, because they say the younger you teach the younger you expose your kids to swimming, the better swimmers they'll be, because they're already, especially when they're infants, remembering being in the womb and they were in a liquid, you know, the amniotic fluid anyway. So it's easier to teach them when they're that young because they don't have a fear of water, and because it's familiar to them. So we never got a chance to put him in there, and that has always been one of my regrets, because my baby loves some water. And it was so funny because my son was visiting us, and I had my grandson. He had my grandson with him, and so everybody was getting ready to go get in the pool, and my husband and I were waiting on something. I can't remember what it was. So we told my son we'd just go ahead and take him down there. He took that baby down to the pool, and my son, before he got a chance, because he had the water wings and he had the lifesaver and he had all this stuff to put on him, my baby was in his swim trunks, and he was so excited about getting in that water. My son was blowing up the water wings, and my grandson just jumped in the pool. I'm talking about, he jumped in the deep part of the pool, and my son had to jump in there after him because he's standing right there next to my son as my son was blowing up the water wings, and he just turned around and just jumped in the pool. And so my son kept telling him, you can't do that. You had to wait till I finish blowing these things up to put on your arms. And, you know, he's explaining to him and everything. And he was like, but I want to go swimming. And my son was like, you don't know how to swim yet. You can't get in there without, you know, having the water wings and everything on you. And my grandson wasn't scared. He wasn't nervous or nothing. When my son jumped in there and got him, he was looking like he didn't understand, you know, why he jumped in the pool, because in his mind, he jumped in the pool, he was about to swim. He just had in his mind he was just about to swim. So it scared the bejesus out of my son. And my poor son brought that baby back up to the house, and he was sitting there with this look on his face like, oh my God, you know, he wasn't expecting him to do that. And so my son went back down to the pool, and he was sitting by the pool with this look on his face like he was just, you know, beside himself. He was just hurt and confused, and he didn't know what to do. So it was funny after the fact, but I can't imagine being my son at that pool when that baby jumped in that pool like that, because that would have scared me too. So anyway, yeah, so he loves the water and he loves, you know, swimming, but he don't know how to swim, but you can't tell him that. So So anyway, I just want to check in with everyone and kind of see, you know, what everybody had going on, and to just do my vlog, because I'm trying to kind of get back in the routine of vlogging. So today is day 3 for me. Because I didn't work Monday. I was off, you know, having gone to the dentist and whatnot. So anyway, it was good talking to y'all. Let me know what y'all got going on. Let me know what kind of activities y'all have planned for the kids. Leave some recommendations for other parents down there in the comments. Check out the description box I might post some links for like different stuff that I see that's going on in the city. If you're here in Houston, or I should say the greater Houston area, because we got Galveston and Missouri City and, you know, different like little cities that surround us. So if I find out about any other things that's going on for your children, I may go ahead and leave links to all of that. I know I keep hearing about Moody Gardens have some type of discount tickets going on for stuff that's happening out there. But yeah, let's help each other out. Keep these kids entertained and occupied with things that are actually going to be beneficial for them. You know, help develop their social skills, keep them in tune with what they might be dealing with for school next year. Whatever it is, you know, let it be something that's going to have them being productive. It can be fun and be productive too. So, you know, I appreciate y'all tuning in. And as always, love yourself and love somebody else. And until next time, y'all take care. Green team. Peace.